the Flywoo action camera power cable for FPV, that coming up right after this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Ryan. On this channel we do a lot of tips, tricks, and reviews, mostly drone and photography related. If that's something you're interested in, consider subscribing. It's greatly appreciated. As I mentioned in the intro, today we're going to be talking about this Flywoo power cable. It's meant to power action cameras on an FPV drone. And when I first got this, I did spend my own money on it. Flywoo did not send me this one. So just putting that out there. When I got this, I was fairly excited because it has some wide compatibility with a lot of different action cameras out there on the market. So I just wanted to go ahead and get it, try it out, and see exactly what it was like. I do have a couple issues with it just off the bat, and we'll get into those here in a second. First, let's go ahead and open this up and see what's included. So first included in the bag is the BEC cable. It does take a 3-cell to 6-cell LiPo. This plugs into the balance cable on your LiPo battery pack. And coming out this side, you have a small power cable that is made to power Flywoo's own naked GoPro cameras. You also have another cable that goes to a USB-C end. Both of these cables are removable, so if you're using one or the other, you can remove the unused one. So if you're using the naked camera cable, you can simply just unclick this and pull that out. That way you don't have extra wires hanging around. So also in the package, this is what got me somewhat excited about this whole setup. You have 3 small adapter cables. Now the 3 cables, you have one that goes to, this is for the SMO 4K camera. And then this one is for the Betaflight naked GoPro 6 and 7. And then lastly, this one is supposed to be for the GoPro Bones cable. Now this is where my first beef with this whole system came in. This cable, though it is the right number of cables, they're in the right order, this housing is not the correct housing. So this housing they use does technically fit in the hole. You'll see that the pins on the, let me zoom in a little closer here, the pins here on the GoPro Bones are actually centered, and then you look at the tip of this cable, and it is actually, if I can get it to focus here, they're actually offset. This actually causes it to go in kind of at a weird angle, and that's one thing. So it barely fits in there, and it comes out really easy. You can kind of see that's kind of at a cockeyed angle. Now this can bend your pins, and another thing I don't like about it is you can actually install it upside down too, which you obviously don't want. You're going to end up getting 5 volts on your UART port, which could potentially damage the camera, but obviously it's not going to work that way. And again, now you see that it is canted downward because those pins don't line up. So, you know, I get a lot of questions from our website and other places saying, you know, why would I spend $8 on the GoPro Bones cable that you guys offer when I can go out and get this little adapter for, you know, $3, or I can get the whole cable system for about 14 bucks. This is wrong. So I highly recommend you don't do this. I'm going to reach out to Flywoo and see if I can get these in bulk, and I will go ahead and solder on the correct ends. If that does happen, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the description of this video where you can pick up this adapter and actually have the correct one on it. I can kind of see why they did use this connector. This is actually a readily available, very cheap connector. The ones that GoPro actually uses are rather expensive. Both the crimps and the housings are expensive. The equipment to do it is expensive. So that's why we started manufacturing these here. Just after the Bones camera was released, they've been extremely popular. We've sold thousands of these. So we also have them in a similar thing. Now these don't have BECs in them. They run off, both of this is we have them in a 2, 3, 4, and 6 cell version. They run, the 6 cell actually runs on 4 cell voltage. I like to do that just because of if there's any voltage spikes. But they do run off of full voltage, not step down to 5 volts. Now the GoPro Bones is obviously capable of doing up to 6 cell voltage, but you know, you just like to have a little bit of headroom there. So that's reason number one why I don't think this cable is the perfect cable. This cable itself, I think, is really good. One of the things that I don't like about the cable that they use to power their actual naked camera is it's actually different than the one that GEP-RC uses. It's the same housing, but the wires are just reversed. Positive and negative are switched around, so it unfortunately doesn't work. This is a part where I wish all these naked camera manufacturers would just standardize on one particular connector. That way we don't have to have all these adapters in our flight bags, try to figure out which is which and that sort of thing. If we could just get a single cable, I would really like that. That would be great. But you know, that's not obviously a fault of Flywoo's. They picked a standard, and obviously GEP-RC picked a different one. So there's that. So don't try to use this cable if you do have the GEP-RC. If you have the GEP-RC naked camera, you can pull these pins and switch them around, but obviously then none of these other adapters would work right. So only do that in that instance. Kind of the third miss that I see on this cable is actually with the USB-C side of things. A lot of times you might want to take a full-size GoPro, take out the battery, and the battery door saves you about 40 grams, which is obviously pretty substantial when you're talking about putting on a 5-inch drone. And then you could power it from your LiPo battery pack using this. That's the idea. You just plug that in, plug this into your LiPo, save 40 grams. In theory, it's great, and there's been an issue with Hero 10 and 11 with having the not enough power error, and I can show you that here. We'll go ahead and plug this in. So we plug that in, and we will go ahead and power on, and we'll give it just a second. And you see you get this error. Not enough power. It's saying that it's not, you need to connect it to a 5-volt 2-amp source. Now this is, I've not been able to find a actual cable that does provide that. So again, this is not necessarily a fault of Flywoo. It's just kind of a miss on their end, kind of promoting that it can charge these or power these cameras. We do have a video, and I'll leave a card up here in the upper corner that talks about how you can fix this error using the GoPro Labs firmware and essentially get rid of this problem. So take a look at that when we're done with this video. All right, so now you shouldn't have any problems powering the Mini 11 with this cable with the USB-C end on it. Obviously, since it has an internal battery, you're not going to get that low power warning that you get on the full-size GoPro, so that won't be an issue. You'll be able to extend the runtime of this camera using this cable. Now, obviously, it doesn't really save you any weight like it does with the full-size GoPros, but at least you have pretty much unlimited power while you fly. Now, next up with the SMO 4K, they do include that adapter. You can simply just slide this adapter cable in, and then you plug this into there. So now let's go ahead and plug this into we have a 6S battery here. And we'll go ahead and see if we power on. Yep, and we power on just fine. All right, and then next up, this is the BetaFPV. This is Naked Hero 6. Naked 7 is very similar. They both have this similar end plug on it. You simply just plug this in to here. I wish more naked camera developers would actually use this plug. I really like this plug. And then you plug the Flywoo cable in. All right, and you see it powered on. We'll go ahead and power on. So that is it for this review on the Flywoo action camera cable. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments section. We do have links to all the products used today down in the description. If you found this video helpful, consider hitting that thumbs up and subscribing. It's greatly appreciated. So that's it. Film safe, fly safe, and bye for now.